Words in Silence podcast, addressing issues men face but rarely talk about. Today, tonight, this evening, we have the ladies joining us again. Robbie, we missed last week because of your major event in your family with the loss of your father. So, I'm sure we're going to get into that a little bit today, but I'd like to say hi to Julie and Amber. Thank you two for being here and joining us on the about monthly episode where we have you ladies join us just to share your perspective on things so we can add a female perspective to men's issues or today what we're going to talk about today is how we move forward through major life events. And obviously, it's a topic that's top of mind for you, Robbie. But we're talking about like recognizing the event, accepting that whatever that is happened for you, it's a death, but everyone's going to have their own either death or, like you were talking about earlier, breakup, or uh, it could be a multitude of things, even a car accident or any of those sort of things. And how do you move through it instead of hold on to it? So that's what we're going to get into this episode. Before we do any dive into the topic, I would like to say subscribe, follow, leave a comment in the episodes. That would be amazing. On Apple, leave a review. Really helps things out. I always forget to do this. And then I think of doing it at the end, and then I just don't. And then so I'm gonna try and do it here. It'd be awesome. Thank you so much for your support so far. It's been amazing. The podcast keeps growing because of you. So share it with your friends, share it with your buddies. We really appreciate it. On to the meat and potatoes. How we introduce every episode. How are you really? And Robbie, I'm going to let this one simmer and sit for you. And I'm going to ask Julie first, and then she can lob it to whoever she wants to lob it to. So you're on the spot, Julie. How are you really?
Um, I'm balanced right now. You know that like thing where you can hold a bunch of like heavy weight in one hand and you can also hold joy in the other hand and you can move through life that way. That's where I'm at. I've got all kinds of heavy stuff on one side, but I've also got some really good stuff on the other side, and I'm gonna call it balanced. I'm at least navigating life. So, um, yeah, my daughter's gonna be leaving to go on a trip. She's 18. This is her I can do whatever I want because I'm 18 trip. I had one of those too. I went to California. She's going to Florida. But that means I'm gonna be on my own completely at home with a bunch of animals for over a week. So it'll be an interesting experience. So she's breaking me into that whole like empty nester thing. So yeah, I'm hanging out. I think I'm okay for the most part.
Major life
Happy to be
event
here.
right there. The
Thanks for
empty
the invitation.
nesters.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being here and joining us. Always love your perspective. Always love to hear what you have to say. So really nice being here. It's your turn to lob that question to whoever you feel like you want to lob it to.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you said we were letting Robbie simmer, so I guess I'm going to. Oh, I can choose between Steve or Amber.
Or Robbie. He
I'm gonna
simmered.
choose
Maybe he's
Amber.
simmered. Maybe he's already
Okay,
boiling.
I didn't know if he had simmered enough. I wasn't sure.
It's a
Okay, I'm gonna
parboil.
pass it to Amber.
Like, do we stick a fork in him? How done is he? How ready is he? Um, no, it's so good to be here. Yeah, I'm doing well. My mental health the last couple days has been a little and because I'm just letting the pressure of current work situations hit me. I'm also really excited about my new job venture, which will be starting Monday. And so I'm starting to get all kinds of nervousness and excitement and not really anxiety. I'm excited. And I think a lot of times we confuse that with anxiety. But it's excitement. So I'm feeling positive and feeling hopeful. So right now I'm feeling pretty good. So yeah, I'm sure that'll change next week at some point after a week of my new job, and I'm like,
Oh,
but I got all the things done I needed to get done, and I got the official like, welcome to the team, and you start Monday today. So yeah,
awesome. That is a train.
sure is.
Mhm.
I was
In
wondering what
surround
that
sound because you both are here.
is.
That is amazing. We don't live near a train track. Amber is my roommate, so that's why we can hear the sound through everything. That was
It's
wild.
funny.
Yep.
Yeah. At least you can't hear all the dogs barking. That happens at night.
Yeah.
Just like everything starts howling. Okay, Amber, who's next?
I'm gonna lob this over to Robbie.
Oh, he's not going to sit in Simmertown anymore.
Nope,
No.
I'm parboiled, I think.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
got
No more.
softened. Just got softened up a bit.
Yep.
How am I really? Well, unlike Julie, I'm not balanced at all. I've got multiple things weighing me down on one side. Then the joy part is hit or miss, comes and goes. Sadness, anger, all those pop up throughout the day. Yeah, there's a lot to it, of course. We'll get into it in a little bit, but I'm happy to be here. I didn't want to be here, not going to lie, but I knew coming here would pull my head out of my ass, start to anyways, and get me going on the right track again. Before we started this, I haven't sat down behind this computer for a while. Kind of felt a little weird. I usually spend a lot of time here, but my time's been spent somewhere else, and a lot of it's been in my head. So that's about where I'm at. Joy, anger, happy.
I figured you've been quiet all week. You've been quiet all week. You've been quiet since basically Friday, since you left.
Yeah.
But you've been quiet all week. And then this morning you were like, I'm going to give myself one more day and then to sit in this. And then I'm going to have to do something. I was like, okay, we need to record a podcast. And I didn't figure you were going to be excited about this at all. At all. Like, F this. I don't want no part of this. I don't even want to sit down and talk to anyone. I still want to sit in my own puddle, in my own mess. And we're not going to let you sit in your own mess. I think that's one thing good friends do. We don't let you sit in your own mess, and you're a good friend to all of us. So we're going to sit in your mess with you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
It's messy. Messy, like I didn't know how it was going to be messy. So, but it's your turn now, Steve. Then we'll get into the fun of my mess.
Yeah, I mean, we can get the Kleenex, we can get the Javex out. Do we need bleach? Just curious.
Maybe.
Wow,
Okay.
this is really serious.
I don't know how big his mess really is. He's still being vague. Anyways, I'm doing pretty good. I would say overall, I probably need to eat. I have a little bit of a headache. I should have done that before or when I got home, but I didn't because I had school homework to do and I wanted to do it instead because I fantastically put work over my nutrition often enough, or schoolwork or whatever that may be. And so I will happily skip a meal to keep working and happily delay eating, and I'll grab myself something quick to drink. And because I don't want to eat crap, I would just eat nothing. And so that's kind of where I'm at today. I ate a bagel today, and that didn't sit well with me. And I was like, I can't believe I did that. But anyways, overall, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood overall. I've got most of my stuff, most of the work behind me this weekend already, or coming for this weekend already. And so I'm in a good mood. I feel like the organizing of the things is working out pretty decent, the planner wise. Because when I say something out loud and make a change, so I do have a whiteboard here now, and I'm going to actually show everyone. And that is to help keep me organized. So I'm still working on what's working and what's not working, and keeping on the improvement of organizing my time. That being said, I'm in a good mood. I'm doing well. So happy about that. So let's dive in. The topic, getting over, getting through. I don't know. I wouldn't say getting over. I think getting over might be the wrong way to put it. I think the righter way to put this is moving through a big life event, because you don't just put it behind you. There are definitely steps, and they're not the prettiest of steps, generally speaking, that it takes to actually move through it and have it not be something we carry, be something we continue to resent, be something that we continue to keep us in a shitty mood. Let's put it that way, because there's ways to move through and around. Okay, that's it. I'm lobbing it. Go for it. Robbie, do you want to be on the hot spot or?
Sure.
Okay.
Because I think, this will, what I'm going to could set the mood. Then maybe you guys can pick up and, give advice or how you've navigated. Last time we recorded was the day I found out about my father's death. Fast forward, tomorrow will be 2 weeks of his death. The week after, I was super busy with work. Had to go to Utah for the service. Day of the service was, let me rewind. Got into Utah on Thursday night. Sat down with his wife and her daughter. We talked. It was kind of grim, kind of sad. Trying, there was some good stuff, remembering the good, and I wanted some closure, so I asked a lot of questions about his death. That was important to me. His last breath, that kind of thing. I wanted to know how that went for me, and they were able to tell me, and all that other stuff. I have a half brother. I don't talk to him. Haven't talked to him. I don't know how many years. He blocked everyone on the side of the family. He found out about my father's dying and wanted them to drop what they were doing and come pick him up so he could be there too. Well, that was non-negotiable. They weren't going to leave to go pick him up, which was about an hour away, so he could be there too. He's made decisions in his life that put him where he's at now. He doesn't have a car, that kind of thing. So they weren't going to give up being there for his last breath to go get him. So he got mad, blocked everyone. So I tried to reach out to him to see if he needed a ride. He didn't reach back. He didn't reach back out to me. Not too much of a huge deal on my part, since we just don't have a relationship. Day of the service, we go there. We're there early. They put together a little video of, good memories. What of my dad's family showed up? There wasn't much. He has a couple sisters. Did the service. It was great. Went through that. Went home. We sat around and shared memories and stuff like that. Tried to remember him as we wanted. Next morning, woke up, went for a run, felt horrible. Just wanted to turn around, go back home. Then Sunday morning, drove home. Drive home was pretty tough. I was really tired from the week before, just running. And I've been running pretty hard for, I don't know how long. I don't even want to put a timestamp on it.
Since Gab went back to school, just before
Yeah.
Gab went back to school, you started running.
Yeah.
So
So
and you haven't stopped.
mid-August. Get back, Monday, I'm just like, the drive home was just, it was hard. I was tired. I wasn't, uh, I was there, but I wasn't. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't happy. Just blah. Um, Woke up Monday, took Gabrielle to school, went to work. Everything was pretty good. Um, by the end of that day, I noticed that I was really tired, just mentally exhausted and physically too. Uh, I hadn't been eating that much. I don't know why. I'm usually, can eat all day long. Wasn't eating much. Tuesday morning, uh, my daughter was able to get her driver's license, so we had to go to the DMV. First thing in the morning, we stood there for 3 hours. And finally, she got her restricted driver's license, which is a huge help to me. And after that, that's when everything started falling apart. We've been waiting for this day for so long, so she can start to help me with being able to drive herself to school and to her activities that take a lot of my time. And it was like all the emotions hit right at once. Was like, I wanted a breath of fresh air, knowing that I don't have to do all this anymore. But as I was taking that breath of fresh air, everything just piled on with my dad. And just went to a dark place. Like I was saying, the joy, the anger, the happiness. And I had told myself this story. He's been sick for quite a few years, at least 3 years, and I've been telling myself the story of when he passes, this was going to be. Well, Tuesday it wasn't any of that, nothing at all. It was like, to give a point today, I came home and a deer walked across the street. I took a picture of it. Usually I would send those to my dad just to give him something to do, and I'm like, well, shit, I can't send that to my dad. And I thought I was prepared. I thought I was ready. Then it's just how quickly it was gone, and I thought I was prepared, and I wasn't. And I told myself that good story. The story's a lie. And I'm hurt by myself. I had that shield up and fought a good battle, but once I took it down, everything crumbled. And here I am trying to navigate this loss of my father, but myself. And that's why I thought this topic was so important, because it's a life lesson. We think we're prepared, but we never are. And, some of the stuff that's been going on in the world that has been weighing heavy on me too, because people's lives are getting taken away, and some people think it's funny. And with how close these two things happened, my father's life and someone else's, it's not funny. When you're on the other side of that and you think that you're prepared, someone that created you is taken away, then someone you looked up to is taken away in vain. It's left me at a very, very hard loss. And I have to start over and figure out the direction I want to go. I thought, knowing that his death, he would be comfortable and he wouldn't be suffering anymore. But now I'm the one suffering, and I don't know how to fix that.
The first thing that comes to mind for me, Robbie, is you're not supposed to fix it. And Steve said you were like, okay, I'm done after today. I'm gonna, pull myself up by my bootstraps and move on and get over it. And that's not how grief works. It's just not. We can do the things that have to be done. Like, there's the day to day. There's the stuff where you're like, okay, I can't lay here in bed and do nothing anymore. I need to get up and I need to eat and I need to shower and I need to go to work. But you can't just be like, okay, I'm turning this shit off. That's just not how grief works. There's no fixing it. There's sitting in it, and it sucks and it hurts, and all you want is to be able to turn it off. And that's exactly how we turn grief into trauma, is by trying to turn it off. If you can sit in it and talk about it, what you're doing here is exactly what you need to be doing. And just feel it as long as it demands to be felt. It's not going to demand to be felt forever, but you don't get to pick the timeline, it does. And then you'll go through, they say grief has the stages, and I'm sure you're familiar with all of that, but grief is like a syndrome, right? It's all these different symptoms. It's anger and it's sadness and it's denial and it's all of these different parts and things coming in at once, and you can't do anything to turn any of it off. You just have to let it work its way around until it's ready to start releasing. So I think we get ourselves into trouble with any emotion when we're like, okay, I have to fix it. I have to stop feeling this way. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I should feel something different. As soon as we start doing that, we screw ourselves, because then we're just fighting again. We can't. It doesn't work that way.
Robbie, knowing you well enough, I wonder if after his passing you were expecting to feel some relief, and the relief never really showed up. I think this is one of the things that maybe this was the story you told yourself of what you were going to expect after experiencing the loss of your father, and then coming home to the realization that there is no relief in the fact that he's gone, but there is the sadness that you probably weren't expecting, that you had thought you'd prepared for and thought you'd felt already. And instead now you don't have the relief, but you have the sadness that you weren't expecting to feel.
Yeah, that's really on point there. It's like I had it all played out in my head how everything was going to go down, and a lot of it was pretty good. But yeah, the sadness, like just looking at that deer across the road, like I can't send that picture. I didn't prepare for that. Like those little things, I was preparing for the big stuff that was in my head, right? The big stuff that I thought was in my head. Not those little things. And I think a lot of us do that too, because talking with other people too, it's like the stuff that brings tears to people's eyes is some of those memories or a trinket or something like that, right? And I just was holding that shield, and like none of that's going to affect me. I don't want any. And that's why for me it's a good life lesson, because I fought really hard, like the whole time, fighting through the trauma, then all that stuff. I had a story to keep me comfortable. And for the most part, it worked pretty good. Then here we are. And like, if I wrote the story is not in line with what I wrote. It's like completely different. And I'm like at a loss. Like I don't even. Yesterday when I woke up. Yeah.
Is this the first like major loss,
Yep.
family wise, the whole thing? So
Yes.
there is no way to prepare yourself in a way of knowing how this was going to feel.
Right.
Right. So like,
Yeah.
I guess my question is, Do you know any different?
No.
So, like, think about how you've dealt with hard shit for a good portion of your life. Generally speaking, doing a good job of not trying to feel it and just holding it in and not giving it space to exist. And it's really, really hard to give anything space to exist when we haven't experienced it at all, to know that, last time I held all this shit in, I can't do that again, so I got to try something different. Whereas there was no last time for you.
No.
There is a whole bunch of past experience about how Robbie tries to take care of himself with the upcoming expectation of something hard going to happen. And I think, like most men, we harden ourselves to the level of the pain we're expecting to feel so we can make it through it.
Yeah. I agree with that. And with the relationship that I had with my father, it was also, there's a lot of anger there too towards him. And I've talked about this before. So I used that anger to, fuel how I wanted to feel. So that was really easy. Like, oh, he did this, right? So then I could be like, well, this is how this feels and whatever. Then now they're not there. And it's like, well, I can't, there's empathy now. It's like, I can't feel this now. I can't feel that anger anymore. There's no physical being to hold that anger to.
Oh,
And it's
there's
weird
plenty
even
of people that hold anger against people that no longer exist anymore.
Well, and we're seeing it, right? And that's kind of the weird thing too, is like that surrender, right? I had to surrender, like, and I think a lot of it was put the shield down. I knew it was coming. I totally knew it was coming. I've, you know, not dealt with this stuff, but just knowing who I am and how I work, and you guys, I share a lot of stuff with you guys, and this I was just quiet. You guys knew I was quiet, and I wanted to be quiet because I wanted to sit in it, and that surrendering part uh, was interesting, and it still is, because it wasn't like a lot of times when um, when we gave up our substance abuse, there was something kind of fueling that, and the surrender was something. This one was like a loss. Like, I don't look at giving up alcohol and drugs as a loss. I look at it as a positive. Like, I'm gaining something with my life. Where this one is the complete opposite, where I've lost something in my life that is not physically there anymore. It's a relationship. It's my father. And like, it's a hole. That's the only way I can explain it. It's like a hole, big deep hole. And I will climb my way out of it. I know that. But I remember with other things, I was climbing up that ladder and I was excited and everything was new. And here I'm in this hole and it's just like, fuck. I have all these emotions. I don't know what to do. And it's not like hopelessness or hard on myself or any of those things that we normally feel when we're going against ourselves. It's just like this hole. That's the only way I can explain it, is like something has been taken away and I just have this big hole. And like when I said I was trying to fix it, I'm trying to fill that hole. I don't know what that is. And me saying that I want to fix it is me filling up that hole so I don't have to fill it anymore. And Julie, you hit it right. Like, I can't do that. And I know that, but that's just where I'm at. I don't know any other way right now.
Amber.
I just, Robbie, when you were speaking, I had this image in my head of, it's like when it's I mean, it's not the same at all emotionally, but it's like getting a tooth pulled. It's like there's just a hole now. Like you just, I know it's not the same, but that's where my brain goes when I have visualizations of like hole. I'm like, holes you can't fill. What is? Welcome to my brain. Hopefully that made you laugh. So, but yeah, I mean, I relate to so much of this, you know. I mean, having lost both my parents, both at very different times in my life. Like I lost my dad back in 2017, and I was still actively drinking then. And I lost my mom 9 months after getting sober. Um, and I don't think I even fully grieved either of those until, you know, I mean, that was my mom passed away at the end of 2022. And it took a good year because I had so much anger and I had so much resentment, and I blamed her for my dad dying, and you know, I just had all of this anger. And I was filled with so much anger that there was no room for grief. There was no room for that emotion, right? Like the hole, I filled it with more anger and more resentment and more blame. Um, and like you said, it's a surrender. It's just a surrender to, there's nobody to hold that anger and that blame to anymore. Um, and so you're just left with the grief, um, and feeling that, you know, because I don't fully, you know, I didn't fully feel the grief back in 2017, right? I cried and I commiserated with people, you know, around me, but it was different. I didn't actively grieve um, that loss. And so after my mom passed, you know, I kind of grieved both of them because I was at such a different place in my life where I could, where I actually had the capacity to just allow myself to feel it, um, and not, there's nothing you can do to fill it, you know. Just doing what you're doing, right, and reaching out to people. It's just like everything else in our lives where we kind of tell on ourselves, where you can say like, I'm just at a loss right now and I don't know what to think or what to feel. And just voicing that, you know, it gives a voice to the grief, and it allows it to be seen and acknowledged. And yeah, like Julie said, the more you try to fight it, the worse it gets.
Isn't
uh,
that go with like any
anything,
especially negative
anything.
emotions? The more we try and fight the anger, no, I shouldn't feel this way. The more we try and fight the grief and the sadness and the depression, it's like the longer it exists and the
Mhm.
harder it is to move through it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I've done that.
Absolutely.
I've done that.
With
Go ahead, Julie.
with any of these emotions, when we try to when we tell ourselves, I have to stop feeling this, I can't stand to feel this way, I shouldn't feel this way, whatever it is where we're trying to turn it off, um, it perpetuates it, and it demands to be felt, and so it lasts longer and it gets more extreme. The way to do this, and this is true with anger, this is true with sadness, whatever, is okay, I'm feeling really angry. What am I going to do about it? I'm grieving right now. What am I gonna do about it, right? For me, that answer was talk to people about what I'm feeling. It was basic, basic self-care. Like the
Mhm.
stupid shit you should remember to do every day that you're just not doing because you just don't feel like it. That's one of the like things you have to do. And what I've learned about grief, and I've lost some really special people in my life. I've experienced, you know, enough grief that I have some experience to call on. The hole doesn't ever fill up. Like ever so slowly, somebody will come in, something will happen, there will be an experience or a person or some kind of joy, and it sort of like smooths it over like a layer of skin right over the wound, and then another layer of skin as you start healing and you have more experiences, and and more time passes, there's always going to be a scar. It's never going to go away. And it could be 10 years from now, something will come up and it'll absolutely make you cry that you were never expecting, because it never fully goes away. It just, over the course of time, when you allow yourself to feel and you allow yourself to do the things that are good for you, it's like it slowly sort of, you know, scabs over, and eventually it turns into a scar. Um, I think that's the best way I can describe what that feels like, because I lost somebody really special to me well over a decade ago. Like, there are still times that it comes up, and like I can feel my eyes welling up with tears for no reason that I can think of other than she comes to mind, right? And sometimes that's okay. She comes to mind and I'm fine and I'm at peace with that. And there's other times that it'll come up, and for no reason at all, I can feel everything wanting to bubble over, and that is what grief is.
Mhm.
So you, we talk about, if you listen to everything we've talked about so far, we've talked about learning how to feel it. And I mean, we talk about how we feel a fair often on this podcast. This how are you doing really is talking about how you're feeling, right? And not letting a feeling and a emotion or whatever that may be be the reason for acting in like an inappropriate way or saying something you didn't mean. It's all of that stuff is a reaction to an emotion that we are trying to learn and talk about and figure out. And Robbie, I think that's going to be an important part of you figuring out where the hurt lies. Like, what is it that makes it sting right now? And those words won't come to you probably in the heat of the moment. They'll come to you in a lull, or when you've given yourself and your body some time to actually process it, when you stop,
Mm-hmm.
when it hits you. But I have a question, and I know it's really early, and I think that might be even more valuable for this question because it's still messy. But the question I have is, based on what you know now and everything you've experienced so far with the loss of your father, what would you do differently?
That's a super messy question, because I wouldn't. So our relationship was really not there. So I wouldn't. This is gonna hurt for me saying this. I wouldn't change that part.
Mm-hmm.
If I could, it would be changed. But I'm past that part. The relationship wasn't there. How I would change it now is, I wouldn't put that shield up so hard and so willingly to put my chest out with it and everything's going to be okay. And, you know, I'm a man, I can deal with this. And I got to be the strong one. I got to show up for everyone. I wouldn't say I'd have to be in control, because there wasn't a lot of control there. But what I do feel like, that I was way too much in control of my own emotions, if that makes any sense. Like, I think if I would have surrendered sooner with my emotions, and this is before his death, and not made that story that I was making. And I don't know how to do this, because this is right. It's the unknown, but this is what I'm telling myself. If I would have surrendered sooner and made peace, I thought I had made peace, but I didn't. I may have made peace with some things, but not the physical, real loss of a human being. That's the hard part. And I feel ashamed of myself for doing what I did to myself by putting that shield up and saying everything's okay. There's some, that hurts me myself because was I not there for someone else? That's a question that pops up in my head. Did I do enough? And a lot of these things I'm saying are just things that are coming out because of that shame. Like I'm not worthy, the whole self-worth thing, because I feel like I put up the blinders with the shield. It was going to happen. I didn't do anything about it. Acted tough. Then it did happen. I was so numb to it all because I wasn't prepared. I don't know how you prepare for it. Then here I am now, which this is all okay. I'm just trying to put the words there with this, huge hole in my heart of the loss and, the loss of myself. So I guess what I would do different is, and unfortunately knowing with what I know now and what I could give advice, this is, I'm not giving advice, but what I would do now, it's still early on, is I wish I would have found some peace and instead of not been the tough guy. I don't know what that is because I knew I had to do it to stay comfortable. And that was my only way to do it, was to do that. But if I could, it would be, surrender and be present. I wasn't present. I thought I was present, but I was in my head a lot. And like looking back now, it's just all blur. It's like I woke up and here we are. And that is also makes me feel a little shame too, because, and this is going back to self-reflection, what did I miss out on? I was physically present a lot of stuff, but I know I wasn't mentally present for a whole lot of stuff. I was gone. And now today, not today, but now, realizing it, it's like, where have I been? Where was I at? And I think it's okay. But there's a lot of shame in that, because I felt like, I turned the phone off and was just gone.
Did you do the best you could while you were there for what you knew at the time?
Yeah. I'll give myself that. Yes.
Good, because if you didn't, I'd have come through the screen.
Yeah.
I just kind of
None of
wanted
us
to.
navigate
ahead.
emotionally messy, difficult situations smoothly and correctly and in the best way that we would have liked to, especially the first time it's something we're experiencing. It never is picture perfect. It never looks like the movies. And I think that has to be okay. It has to be okay that we just, it's going to be messy and we're going to make mistakes and we're going to learn painful lessons. And that's how we do something different the next time something similar comes up. That's all we can hope for. That's the human experience. We don't have it all mastered. Like,
I got another question for you. I'm just like grilling Robbie right now.
I love it. I love it.
I'm grilling you because this is what I do when I'm at either funerals or something where I know I'm gonna experience sadness or something's gonna touch my heart and I'm gonna feel myself welling up and crying, and then I kind of like look around to see who's watching, and then a lot of the times what I do is as soon as I become self-conscious of it, I hold it back. I swallow it down. I don't let myself experience that feeling, the sadness, the whatever it is, because it's intense in that moment. And then you almost want it to come back, but then once it's fucked off, it's fucked off. Like it's gone. you can't just turn it back on again. But normally, and this has happened to me more times than I can shake a stick at, but like, I want it back. I want to be able to have that moment back, the one that I robbed myself of because I was too afraid to show it in front of anyone else because of, there was these past things. One of the stories that comes up in my mind was being at a funeral, and I think I was somewhere in my 20s, and I started crying at the funeral, and then some lady, I don't know, it was an aunt or whatever it is, and I heard that, oh my God, it's so sweet, he's crying. I don't want to be fucking sweet in that moment. I don't give a crap about what you're saying, and I also don't need your damn opinion right now because that's the time when I'm going to absorb it. Right? That's the time where I'm the weakest. My shield is down, and that's the time when, like, this is for the women out there. That's the time I need you to just accept me where I'm at, and those little quips need to, like, they need to be gone. I need to be met there. Like that is the moment. I'm getting passionate now. That is the moment where, like, my heart is being shown. And I know women want to see that part. That's what we're asking for. And like it's there, but as learning how to accept that without, like, the quips, and that's a shutdown moment. That was an instant shutdown moment for me, and that's a moment that comes up where I turned it off, and then I held that because I didn't want to have to hear that again, like I was gonna hear it again in a different setting, with different people, with whatever. That's a hard one to overwrite.
That Friday at the surface, that not exactly, but that happened more than once. I saw some family members I haven't seen in 20 plus years, and my dad's sisters are all older than him. He was the youngest. And one of my aunts that I remember very well came in and was talking, and can't believe how long it's seen each other, and that was a good conversation. Then she goes, "I'm so sorry that we had to meet like this," and I was like, "Really? Why did you have to throw that little nugget in there? You didn't have to say that." I know she was emotional. She was already crying. Then she just kept saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And we don't, those words don't help. So then she kept saying stuff. Then she goes, "Oh, I love you so much. I miss you so much." Then she made it about me. And that's when I almost lost my shit. I almost had to walk away from that because it wasn't about me. It was about her brother. Yes, we haven't seen each other in a long time. I understand that. I know your emotions are high, but that is one of those, like Steve, you were talking about. That's one of those things that I was emotional. And as soon as I heard some words, it just got turned right off. Like I got angry. Like, do not say these. And then another thing was, my brother's daughter was there, and she's been a huge part of my dad's life. Huge part. Like, they hung out all the time. He helped raise her, all those things. And her brothers and sisters were also there. Huge part of his life. And the video was playing of some Christmas stuff, and one of the boys was with my dad, and they had bought him a gift, and they were, showing the videos of it. And he was crying. And he was trying to hide it. And his mom looked over and said, "It's okay to cry." And that made me cry. That's what I wanted to hear, that it's okay from a woman. I didn't want to hear, "I'm sorry." The stuff about me, it was like, I didn't want to hear that. And those were times where, an uncle I haven't seen for years, one of my favorite uncles. You know, he didn't, and this is weird, man to man, we had a heartfelt conversation like we picked up from the time we left off. There was nothing about the loss of my dad. It was, how are you really? How's your life been? We shared. Then, we got to the point of the loss of my father. That meant a lot to me because he was willing to take the time and see how I was really doing and have that discussion. And we shared back and forth as men instead of making it something that it wasn't. And, I got super emotional with him. Then he noticed and he walked away, which that's fine. Like, him walking away let me know that it was okay. Because I know he was in the same spot too, and just kind of stuff men do sometimes. And some of those memories I'm gonna have to put away. And like my aunts, I'm never gonna see them again. I had those words with them. I will never see them again. They're in their 70s, and there's no way that unless I make the point to go see them, and maybe I will, maybe I won't. I could change that, right? That's on me if I want to see them again. But it was just some of those things. It's like when what I really learned is who to keep close and who to let go. And when we left the doors of the service, I let a lot of people go and I held some people close. Then we went to a church after to eat and celebrate, and there were some people there, and it became a lot about them. And it really pushed me away. And I was sitting with my daughter. My dad's wife was sitting with us till she got called over to go sit with some other people, and another person was sitting there, and it was like, I get to hold those people close now and let those other people go away. And that's part of some of that shame too that I'm holding. It's like I feel like an asshole for just letting them go away, but I know deep down in my heart I can't keep them in. They're not for me anymore. And it's weird to say that, and it feels weird to feel that. When I was younger, I would do everything to keep anyone close to me so I could make myself feel better. And now I'm at the point where I know to make myself feel better, I got to push those people away. No, I don't mean those people, but you know what I mean? I have to let those people go out of my life to find that peace. And I think that's where a lot of my whole mess is, because I know now, hold people close that I have something with, and those people I don't, let them go. And that sucks because there's some memories there too. And it's just like in my head, like this butter churning. It's like when it starts to turn into butter, it's like, oh, there's joy. Then you hit a couple pockets and there's the cream comes bubbling up, and it's like there's the sadness. Just a mess.
Well, Robbie, we're getting near the hour mark. And what I want to do is I want to thank Julie and Amber for showing up. And I know neither of you two ladies got to share or talk a whole hell of a lot, but I know that you two helped create a safe space for Robbie. And I know that I appreciate that from you two, and I appreciate you two showing up and being here and being a part of support for him, because I know how much I appreciate you two and where I can be comfortable. And I think I'm going to speak for you a little bit, Robbie, but I feel like they're comfort for you too.
100%.
So, what it comes down to is when we have some emotionally healthy women in our lives, they allow us to show up in some of our most vulnerable ways and speak our minds and speak our hearts and still be loved and appreciated and not treated as weakness. And they gave you a ton of space to just be. And to me, that is, they're both an excellent example of trying to do that and putting effort into that and knowing that it means a lot to us, because I know it means a lot to me when they show up for me, because is that healthy female example that gives me hope. And I think they feel the same way when they see us guys try and figure this stuff out, and us guys try and like show up in all of the ways, but also in our manly throw the shield up kind of way too, because there's a time and place for it. So I just want to say thank you to those two.
Thanks for letting us be here. I'm actually getting all emotional right now. Like, how did we get this freaking lucky to have friends like this? Like, I'm the one crying on the other end of Zoom, and Robbie's sat there. And somehow, from all across the continent, I don't know. It's incredible that we have people like we have, like that we have this. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just getting all emotional. I'm not going to apologize. I'm really, really grateful for you
Yeah, I
guys.
was going to apologize.
I'm just like, it's a good emotion. I'm sad we're here for the reason we're here. I'm also so fucking grateful that we all get to show up for each other. It's been one fuck of a year for me, and you guys have been there for every minute of it. And not everybody is as lucky as we are. I haven't had friends like this my entire life. I'm 43.
Yeah.
And I just now have people I can show up with and talk to. That's incredible. Yeah. Okay.
And the whole time you were thanking us, Steve, all I could think of was like, I just want to thank Robbie. Like, thank you, right, for showing up for yourself, you know, and for being honest about where you're at. Like, that's where the strength is. You know, it's not in the I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm good. It's in the I'm a fucking mess right now, and I kind of just need to sit and like say it out loud and work my way through it. And so thank you for showing up for yourself and trusting us to be part of that process, for sure. Like Julie said, like, I don't know how we all got so lucky, but we did. It's pretty great.
I have to thank you guys too, because you know this isn't easy to talk about, and like Steve said, that, you know, just being here listening means the world. Same with me, Julie. I haven't had friends like this ever. You know, 47, and that's part of the thing where, you know, when you hold people close and you can talk about the hard shit and be there too when people are suffering, give people space. Something happens in the universe. And I don't know what it is, but like you said, Julie, it's gratefulness. And there's a lot of joy in this for me too. Be able to talk and share this with my friends gives me joy. That's something I don't think I could ever say in my life when talking about something like this, is the joy that's there, even though the circumstance isn't joyfulness right now. I will remember this for the rest of my life.
Thanks for letting us be here.
I'm just going to say thanks to the audience for being here and being a part of this too. And we will see you on our next episode next week. Thanks for being here.